Alright, so first question from Don here. You're welcome, Don. Question about anchor text. So if one of your websites gets penalized, you want to switch over to a new domain, what's the safest bet to change the anchors on your PBN? I don't actually change anchors on my PBNs when I want to change. I'll actually delete the post and make a whole new one. Because I did an experiment where I changed a whole bunch of anchor text for a site when there was a change, a few months back, and the site totally ended up tanking. So I know it's bad to just change the anchor like that. Um, do we delete all the content on the PBN? Yeah, delete and post new content for sure. Don't just change it on the post. All right. Yeah, don't just change the anchor text. All right, from Kevin. Actually, Kevin, I haven't seen any jumps at all, really. A little bit with KLKS, where traffic actually went down like a very little bit for a few days in the last, like, about a week ago. It went down for a few days. Now it's right back to where it was, but not that big of a difference. It was just like a few big keywords dropped, like a couple spots, and they came right back. So I haven't noticed that. It's probably something to do with over optimization, where you're like borderline. They keep kind of messing with it, like a little up, a little down. I have to look at the site to see what's going on there, but I haven't had a problem with that. From Elliot. Yeah, I mean, a PBN of 5 sites can definitely support multiple local clients. I mean, if you go to just the Franklin TN guide, I mean, what do we have, like 6 PBNs for that? And we got, Franklin Car Insurance, right here at number 2. Franklin TN Car Insurance, that would all be one client, of course, which is number 1 right here. And then we got, Franklin TN MMA classes, which could be another client, and that is number 1. Okay. And then we got, what else do we do? Franklin Water Damage, which is actually the number 1 organic result. All right, so this is actually a local result. This is number 1. That's going to be another client there. We got Franklin Real Estate Agents. That's number 2. Okay, that's 4 right there. We got Franklin SEO. That's number 2, right behind our other site. So right there, you have 5 different terms on our My City guide. This was all done with like 6 PBN. So absolutely, you can power a lot of people without 5 sites. All right, from Kevin. And by the way, the PBNs we used for that weren't even that strong. That was to prove you don't need super powerful PBNs to get it done. All right, Kevin says, after placing a new PBN link, how long generally does it take to affect? It really depends, Kevin, on the strength of the PBN and also the how much the money site you're linking to is trusted. For example, like for brand new sites I notice links actually can take like a couple months to fully kick in, and a good month before I even see any movement. Whereas if it's like a site that's like trusted, like KLKS, I'll notice movement within a couple days and a good amount of movement within a week or two, and then it might fully kick in like a month later. But it really depends on the strength of the PBN and also the trustworthiness of what you're linking to. Like a brand new site is going to definitely take a lot longer to kick in. All right, from Ferris, if you want to rank client site, what is the best page to rank for? Inner or home page? Whatever is optimized for Ferris, and it depends how it's set up. Um, like for example, for the Franklin TN guide, since we're going after many different areas, like it's like we're covering SEO, water damage, real estate, MMA. We're obviously not going to do all the home page. We're going to target whatever whatever page we're doing. In this case, the SEO page, we're going to target Franklin SEO. Okay, because this is about Franklin, and we're targeting Franklin SEO. The water damage page, we're targeting that inner page for water damage. if it's a site that's kind of one topic, like maybe like for example Nashville SEO. In this case, we're going to target most of the keywords to the home page, right? Like Nashville SEO, since that's what the site's about, we're going to target the home page, or like Nashville SEO company, anything like that. We're targeting the home page. We wanted to get an extra listing for Franklin SEO, so we actually did an inner page for that, okay? Because it's a specific topic. But if it's something that's like the main domain's about, like like an EMD is a especially good example, just go after the home page in most cases, because that's what the site's about. All right, from Ferris, is it possible to rank client sites without doing on-page SEO for the site? I mean, it's possible without like really focusing on page SEO. What I recommend is having your most important keywords in the title, and also have each keyword you want to rank for at least once in the content. It makes it a whole lot easier to rank. But other than that, you don't need to do a whole lot of on-page SEO. All right, you don't have to. It can help. From Kevin, is there an auto bidder for GoDaddy or NameJet, which sets bids a few minutes before the end of the auction? I believe Todd Spears actually has something for that. But what I do is I just go in and I just put in my highest bid that I'm willing to pay for the domain. And then I used to like set an alarms and stuff, but I kept missing domains and I just got too busy. So I'll just go in, I'll put in my highest bid I'm willing to bid. For example, let's say it's like uh, a GoDaddy domain that's at $50, okay? If I go in and I say, okay, the most I'm willing to pay for this domain is $250, I go in, I put in $250. It's going to raise the bid from 50, which is where it's at, to 55, as long as no one bid above that. And then if someone goes in and bids 60, it's automatically going to bump my bid to 65. All right, it's going to keep doing that until it hits 250. So I've just been doing that lately. But there is auto bidders out there. I think Todd Spears has one. From Paul, how many PBNs should you have to rank anything? Again, it really depends, Paul. All those terms I showed, 1 to 2 links it took. Okay. So it depends on the competition and the strength of your PBNs. In your case, you said you have 420. You're sitting at number 11. It depends. If it's a new My City SEO site, most of those links probably haven't even kicked in yet. At least not even close to all the way. So it just really depends how old the site is and how much trust it has, and the strength of your PBNs. From Sean, when using vCracker, to use that on a subdomain. I've never used vCracker on a subdomain. I just never got into that. It can help your main domain by boosting the domain authority, yes. Make sure you're doing it right, though. You can use Social Explosion with it, yes. Yeah, I'm not sure if there's any videos on that or not, Sean. If you want to ask specifically, you can email David at omgmachines.com. He can tell you if we have content on that, because he does all of our content. But I've never messed with vCracking on subdomains personally, so I don't want to give you a wrong answer, because I know you have to do it correctly, or it can kind of mess you up. So let me get a new set of questions here, new screenshot. Whoops. There we go. Alright, can a PBN of 5 sites support multiple local clients and 3 money sites? Yeah. I mean, you can still do like general PBNs that are on different topics. It is better to theme them now. You are getting more credit for that. But yeah, I mean, 5 sites, PBN could definitely support that. From Susan. Yeah, Majestic has a bigger index, and some people like using Majestic for analyzing sites. I'm just used to the Open Site Explorer metrics, and it's easy for me to read. You have a domain with 0 links and OSE with 70 in Majestic. It depends on the quality of those 70 links. What I found with OSE that I like, Susan, is that it usually shows like the highest quality links. so it's kind of easy to like see the type of quality links that they do have. And that's why I use OSE. What's up, Asher from Paul? I personally always vary the anchor text, Paul, because you can get a lot of credit from little variations and not worry about over optimization. So yeah, I usually always um, vary the anchor text as much as I can. From Steve. Um, you can do either, Steve. I think it depends on what you're doing it for. Like if you're doing it for your own company or something, like maybe you like starting an SEO agency, you could probably do it under your personal account. But obviously, if you're doing like something for like a client, you would probably want to set up a new account. Okay. From Ferris. It depends how many links you're sending, Ferris. Like, for example, for Calcast, I've sent tons of links to that site, so I wouldn't want all those links going to the home page. But, I have other sites where if I'm doing like, if it's going to take like 10 links or less, I have no problem sending them all to the home page, or even like 20 or less. But if you start sending like 50, if you're a really competitive niche and you start sending like 50 plus links and they're all going to the homepage, that might be a little bit of a problem. And I would even say to be safe, after 10, you might want to start hitting some inner pages a little bit just to be safe. Kind of keep it looking natural. From Kevin. The best training in OMG for finding client keywords and ranking them. I mean, for ranking them, supremacy section. Um, for finding them, I would talk to Fletch about that. Because Fletch is very good with that stuff. From Elliot. Several money sites on GoDaddy. I would still make sure they are on different IPs, Elliot, because even if they're on the same IP, even with your PBNs being on different IPs, it could be a footprint linking to sites all on the same IP. Okay, so I still put my money sites on different IPs, but it is fine to host them on GoDaddy as long as you can get those different IPs. From Kathy. I wouldn't use Steveworks Service right now. We haven't tested it yet, but it seems like Fiverr links got smashed pretty good with Penguin 3. From Sirich. Um, Usually when I add content for indexing search, what I do is I'll just do like a little welcome post with a video and no links. And then once I confirm that it is indexing alright and all that, then I'll just do a totally new post on top of that with my link in it. Like I won't go back to an existing post and add a link. That's just me. So that's how I do it. From Susan. Do dedicated IPs rank better than shared IPs? Nah, Susan. I wouldn't necessarily say so. They might be a little safer in some aspects. I don't know the technical stuff, but I wouldn't say they rank better necessarily. It's more about like the link juice and the anchor text you're using, and of course the URLs. Whoops. All right, from Zurich. No, as long as it's showing, as long as it's indexed, that's all I care about, Zurich. From Ferris. I mean, it's just about picking the right keywords and scaling up. You know what I mean? Like I start at the bottom and kind of just I would start with long tail keywords and just work your way up. All right, you don't want to go after like the big keywords right away, especially when you're newer and you're on a budget, because you'll probably hit a wall. Now go after those long keywords, get an income going, and just keep expanding the long tail keywords, and then work your way towards the tougher ones. SEO Host, I think they had bad support. I had a lot of, I don't know if it's because of them, but a lot of my SEO Host sites got de-indexed, or like a higher majority of them, or a higher percentage than other places. So just their support combined with that de-indexing thing, I don't like them. And I still have sites with them. I'm just not going to use them anymore, like for additional sites. From Steve. I'm not sure about that, Steve. I've never used it. I don't even know what it is actually. So I'm not sure about that. From Elliot. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. You move someone up in the organic results, they can get a lot more business for sure. From Gary. Um, as long as your PBNs are in different IPs, Gary, that should be fine. You still want your PBNs on different IPs. You're welcome, Elliot. From Steve. Nah, no, I don't see why you would need to do that, Steve. From Kirk. You don't get why it's necessary to put together a bunch of old websites. The old websites, Kirk, or the expired domains, auction domains, we're using them to power new sites we make, or to rank money sites, okay? Because you can harness the power of old sites, like the sites that have links going to them. Check out the supremacy section for more details. You can harness the power of those old sites and kind of pass that power on to any site you make, or any client site. So just think old site, okay? You get it, you put up a site, you put up a link, and that goes to your client site, or what money, any type of money site, and this old site powers the client site. All right, from Noel. Yes, both were brand new sites, Noel. Franklin SEO and Nashville. Elliot. I don't actually, Elliot. I'm not good with that type of stuff, so I'm not sure. Um, some of my sites are, some aren't, and I'm not sure it makes a huge difference. But I could be wrong, but I haven't noticed like a huge difference personally. Like I have no problem ranking sites that aren't necessarily optimized with mobile. All right, from Priests. I mean, just using my head, Pris. Like e-cigarette brands, electronic cigarette brands, like electronic cigarette companies, like just different words to replace other words. Like electronic, you can replace that with e or electric. Um, like even if you type in electronic cigarette brands, you're gonna get recommendations down here. Okay. Smokeless cigarette brands. You can add like words like best in there. So best smokeless cigarette brands, best electric cigarette brands, best electronic cigarette brands, best e-cigarette brand. Like just mixing it up like that, where it's kind of common sense. Taking words down here, adding in best, adding in review, all types of stuff like that. You can come up with so many different combinations doing that. From Steve. I always go to the way it's set up, Steve. So if my site's set up with www, that's where I send the links. From Sirich. They have training on that, Sirich, and it's not essential, but it does help a little bit. From Sirich. Link Juice Keeper redirects links to non-existing pages to the home page, so it keeps the juice. But a lot of expired domains I found actually don't have that many links going to the inner pages, so if they don't have that many, what I'll do is just manually redirect if it has like a couple. And I have a video on this here, just check out that video. Because usually I don't even use Link Juice Keeper anymore unless it has a whole bunch of inner pages that have links. Again, I have a video on that from Sean. It depends on the strength of your PBN, Sean. It's really hard to say if that's enough or not. And I also don't know about the other competition there. So yeah, it's tough to say, but it's possible. I did Nashville with like 6 PBNs, I think, about the same quality. Can I name a PBN reviewing? I'm not sure what you mean by that. If you're asking for someone that does PBNs, Gregory Ortiz. I'm not sure if that's what you're asking or not, though. From Zurich. I would have to see it. It should be okay, but I'm not. I'm not sure exactly what you saw. But it should be fine as long as the rest of the history looks good. I actually still don't check mine in the Wayback Machine. I just go off the links. Just for time's sake, I can usually tell by the links anyways. From Lorraine. I would ask that in the Facebook group, Lorraine, because I know a lot of people in the Facebook group do use disclaimer pages and terms and conditions and all that. And hello. From Priest. She's pretty booked right now, but I would ask again in the Facebook group, see if anyone is available to set up Web 2.0s. Because I know she's even backed up. I asked her to do something for me, and she's backed up like a week. From Elliot. I mean, it depends on too many things. Again, strength of PBN, what keywords you're going after, how easy it is to rank, how long it is going to take to rank, how big of a keyword it is. So that's kind of impossible to answer, unfortunately. From Lorraine. Yeah, try to stay under 60 characters for the title. How long can a URL be? It can be pretty long, but domain name I wouldn't do like very long as far as the domain name, but URL can be pretty long, and you can be safe with that. All right, from Steve. Yeah, I would put authority links in your money site content. Yes. From Zurich. Um. Again, I have a video on that search. If you don't know where it is, ask David. David at omgmachines.com. From Lorraine. Yeah, I have problems with that too. Sometimes, Lorraine. Try either copying the HTML, if there's like an HTML version of it, or try pasting it in somewhere different. Like maybe pasting it from, like, if it's in Word doc, try Notepad, or if it's in Notepad, try Word doc, and paste, like, copying it from different places. Sometimes that makes a difference. But yeah, I've had that problem too. A money site is any site that its main purpose is to make you money. Like the place where you're going to be converting people into money. From Zurich. Again, ask David Mills anything like that, Zurich. Because he knows exactly where videos for stuff like that are. From Ed. Um, I mean, it depends how long ago you did them at. I wouldn't mess with Fiverr links anymore for now. But if you do see results, it could take a while. I don't know how long ago you ordered this, so it's tough to say if it's going to move or not. But links are taking longer to kick in. If you just ordered a few days ago or so, you're definitely not going to see any movement from that yet. From Lorraine. No, you're good, Lorraine. Don't worry about that. Yes, that's fine. They can't tell who it's being forwarded to, so that's fine, Lorraine. That's the same thing I do. From Marcus. I actually just use the keyword planner, Marcus, and my brain. That's it. Yeah, track keywords for clients with microsite masters for now. They can also track them themselves, but all right, from Lorraine. Yeah, again, Lorraine, I just forwarded it all to my personal email. They can't tell where you're forwarding it to, so it doesn't matter. From Susan. I don't know if there's videos about RSS or not yet. There probably will be in the future. But I actually don't use RSS at all, really. But I probably, will mess around with it soon. Long tail keywords markers are just longer keywords, easier to rank for, and also you can tell, easier what someone wants. For example, weight loss is a short tail keyword, I guess you'd say, whereas weight loss for women over 40 would be a long tail keyword. Okay, it's easier to rank for. You also know specifically what that person who searches that term wants. So that's a cool thing about long tail keywords. The downside is they don't get as many searches, but the searches they do get are very targeted. From Lorraine. I just go and search for it, Lorraine. I'll go type in Franklin TN real estate agents, see where it's ranking, and then put that ranking in my spreadsheet so I know where it was ranking before the link was done. Or I'll just check my keyword tracker. From Carol. I don't know, Carol. I've never messed with WP online. Sorry, never messed with it. From Lorraine. I mean, Google sees it. That has to do with optimization, I think, Lorraine. That's why I usually just keep it general now. If I'm linking to something with the e-cigarette brands, maybe I'll just put like brands as the title or something like that. I usually just use more general stuff as that. Sometimes I'll do exactly what I'm doing for the anchor text, not that often. Mostly I'm just using a general term there. From Scott. You can, Scott, but I usually just use it with my PBN posts. Alright, but you can definitely use it with your money sites. I use it with my PBN posts to help them get indexed quicker and just make them a little stronger. Alright, from Sirich. Yeah, you can do that, Sirich, but it could be a mess depending on how big the site is and how you have it laid out. So I would try to do it before. It's always better to have like it's set up the way you want from the beginning because it could be hard to change down the road. From Sean. I'm not saying I wouldn't do it. I just haven't done it, Sean. Okay. No, I wouldn't worry about pulling in competition videos. You're more just using it to populate your site. And again, they are the best people to ask questions like that for because it's their tools. They can tell you how to best use them. I haven't used them a whole ton myself. From the rain. Yeah, you can definitely still continue the rain. That's not even super strong site actually, unless they're hiding a whole ton of links. Yeah, if they're only on page 3, you can definitely take them over. No doubt about that. Um, and as anything, I would use PBNs. Check out the supremacy section of the rain. Exactly the way I show in the supremacy section. Get PBNs and do the anchor text and URL combinations correctly, and you're gonna overtake them. From Elliot. I've done that to help index a site, Elliot. Like sometimes when you buy a PBN site, it will like end up being not indexed. So to make sure it is actually indexed still, I'll do a post like a dummy post like I talked about earlier, and I'll make sure it gets indexed. So that's some of the time you use it. Or if you're doing a money site, you could just do the coming soon thing to get your site indexed and just kind of build some age while you're building the site. So I've done that as well. So no problem there. From Asher. You can do both, Asher, at the same time. Definitely. You can definitely do both at the same time. All right, from the rain. Yeah, don't worry about asking questions, the rain. It's fine. That's what we're here for. Yeah, that's called SOA records, Lorraine. That's actually because of you don't have privacy protection on the domain, Lorraine. So you want to go into whoever you have the domain registered with and put on privacy protection. That's what that's from. It's not from the SOA records like I talked about in that video. Yeah, so log into that you're actually hosting with IP networks. But you want to log into whoever the domain registrar is. So if it's with like GoDaddy, log into GoDaddy and put on privacy protection. If it's in Namecheap, like where the domain is, not hosting, the actual domain, whatever the domain account is, log into that and turn on privacy protection. It'll probably cost a little bit of money. Like average price is like $8 a year, but you want to cover that up. From Kevin. Yes, that is okay, Kevin. When you see the part page, what you don't want to see is no results found. That means it's not indexed. From Elliot. I don't really have any suggestions, Elliot. My suggestion is strongly is quality links right now. We haven't necessarily tested anything else on Fiverr yet, just because it got hit so hard with Penguin 3. From Carol. And the reason I think it got hit so hard, Elliot, is because since so many people are using the same gigs, they kind of identify where those gigs get their links from, and they just kind of hit all those places. They kind of red flag them. From Carol. Yeah, yeah, you can use that, Carol. You're welcome, Marcus from Low. Client questions, honestly, Low, I would take to Fletch or Mike. They do like for example, for the clients we have for Nashville SEO, Mike deals with all of them. I just do the SEO, so they would actually be way better to ask client questions to, or in the Facebook group, of course. Facebook group is always a great place for questions like that. I wouldn't, Sean. You might still be able to, but I wouldn't. Again, because what I just explained, they can pretty much, someone as big as him, it seems like they've identified where they're getting their links from and kind of red flag those places. From Coco. Hosting for PBNs, I like places like ASEO Hosting, Biz, Builder Hosting. You can use SEOhosting.com, Indianets.com. HostSEO.org isn't that great, but you can use them. The first place I would go is ASEO Hosting, BizBuilder Hosting, Indianets probably next. SEOhosting.com is pretty good, but they're expensive. Host SEO. Who else is there? I mean, those will get you started. Most people aren't going to need too many more than that. From Search. Yes, I still use Spider Spanker. From Don. Yeah. Yeah, it depends what your URL is, Don, though. And I wouldn't use exact anchor, match anchor more than once in most cases. Unless you're going after a really competitive keyword and you already have a ton of links. There's no really reason to repeat it because you can vary it a little bit and still get a lot of credit for that keyword. Alright. Alright, from Kevin. I mean, it really depends, Kevin. I have sites that take a couple of hours because they're so strong. Then other sites that might take, a week. It really depends. Sometimes I think there's just like metrics that you can't really tell. Like, a site will look like maybe it has like really good links. Like two sites compared, both have like 50 domain authority and really strong links. One will take a day. The other will take 5 days. So there's like probably some hidden stuff in there that you can't necessarily gauge the exact power of domain or exactly what to expect out of it. So I mean, it just really depends. But it can take anywhere from a couple hours to a couple weeks, depending on just how strong and just other hidden stuff. I'm sure from Elliot. Yeah, that's good. Definitely. And EMDs are usually used as money sites, by the way. Market Samurai, I haven't used in a long time. When I did use it, I liked it, but I use my brain for keyword research. From Gary. How to tell if an auction site's been de-indexed? Just do sitename.com. Okay. So there is a site out there called Site Name that is indexed. All right. Now, if I did like a whole bunch of randomletters.com, it's going to say no results found. That means this domain is not indexed. All right. Or if I do like omgmachines.com, that's going to be indexed. That's our site, obviously. From Search. Yes, FAPSENT. It's actually FAP, not B. Okay, so FAPSENT is FAP as in Paul, CENT at gmail.com. From Elliot. No problem, Elliot. That's what we're here for. From Low. Yeah, any client questions again, Low, I would put with Fletch or Mike. They also have one office hour a week each. From Alex. jcsm.org. I like what I see right away. High domain authority, high page authority with not too many links or root domains, which means they're probably high quality links. I just know this from experience. Let's see. I hate this new layout they have. I like the classic. I don't like change. You can tell. Alright, so. A lot of branded anchor text, that's good. A lot of no follows, though, which might be making this a little deceiving, the domain authority. Yeah, a lot of no follows. I'm not saying it won't work. Who asked this question? Alex, I'm not saying this site won't work or it won't rank well, but I don't necessarily love it just because it has so many no follows. Like this data is pretty deceiving because OpenSite Explorer greatly overestimates domain authority and page authority with no follow links, and there's a lot of no follow links. So I mean, it's not nearly as strong as it looks, but it can still get the job done. Probably, it can still probably be a pretty good site for you, but it's not nearly as strong as it looks. I'll just tell you that. From Elliot. Don't worry about that, Elliot. Just use either one's fine to use. When you're doing a PBN, whatever version has more links, I use that version when I set up my PBN. But for a money site, it's not super important. I usually do dub, but it's not super important. I have sites set up both ways. From Asher. Yeah, Gregory's service is very good, Asher. From Scott. I think Todd Spears might still do that, Scott. I'm not sure. But Gregor Ortiz, a lot of people have been using him. From Richard. I mean, you can ask in the Facebook group, Richard, if people are willing to rent out their PBNs, but my recommendation is just build your own PBN, do it yourself. That way you have the properties, you control everything, you're not renting anything. From Carol. To use tinyURL. I'm not sure what you mean by that, Carol. Let me know if you can expand on that and let me know what you mean by tiny. I don't know what you mean by that. Alright, from Kirk. WordPress is in the cPanel, Kirk. And we have videos on this. Go through the orientation section, Kirk, and David will kind of, since it seems like you're a pretty beginner, he'll kind of direct you the best place to start in that orientation stuff. From Scott. You can ask in the Facebook group. I think Wayne Voss does some GSA. I know he's good at that. Other than that, ask in the Facebook group and see what kind of responses you get. From Ed. I think you were talking about Fiverr. If it was just on a week ago, Ed, if I remember the same person, then you probably aren't going to see any effects from that yet, if they are going to give you effects. From Shane. I mean, Facebook's good, Shane. Twitter, Weebly, Yelp, if you can do a Yelp page. Vimeo is pretty decent. SlideShare. A lot of people have been doing the Yahoo Finance. I think they're like press releases. So there's some good places to start. Tumblr can be good. Alright, so let me get a new screenshot. All right, from Marcus. Yeah, I mean, it depends on your situation, Marcus. But I mean, if you're someone that doesn't have time to find yourself, or you're focusing on other areas, yeah, I mean that's a great option. You know what I mean? So it just depends on your situation. From Low, I usually don't do that myself, Low, but you can. Um, no, I don't go to that level with like conversion stuff. I take care more of SEO, but I know people definitely do that, like track conversions and all that stuff for their clients. That of course is going to yield you more money as well. Again, that's something good to talk to Fletch about. From Carol, you you don't really download WordPress, Carol. It's more installed on the with the hosting. Like it's installed with your hosting, so your site can be up on WordPress. So you're not actually downloading WordPress to your computer. From Kevin, nah, I just buy more PBNs, Kevin. For the most part, the way things are going, I am testing with powering up PBNs with like relevancy of URLs and stuff like that. But for the most part, I just buy more instead of powering up my current ones. Okay. From Freddie, I mean, just use your brain. I do a lot of stuff with affiliate that I'm involved with. So I'm involved with a lot of health stuff, so I'll do a lot of health type of stuff. I'm big into like eating right, so I could look into stuff like for that. Just stuff I'm interested in. Usually, what I look into. From Laura, I'm not sure if we're still sharing them or not, Laura. But you can ask in the Facebook group if anyone's willing to share any good writers. I know I've actually seen people in there the last few days sharing writers. So you can go in the Facebook group and ask if anyone has like trusted writers for whatever you're doing, specifically even, and you could get someone exactly for what you're doing, possibly. From Don. Yeah, again, Don, we talked about this, but it depends on the exact domain and how many links they have already. Like if I had the domain NashvilleSEOservices.com, so if I had Nashville, which would be a partially MD, and I was going after Nashville SEO, I wouldn't do that anchor text right away, but I might do it after a few anchor texts in. Like the first one, I'll probably do like maybe Nashville TN search engine optimization. Then I might do like SEO company in Nashville or something like that. And then maybe my third or fourth anchor text, I would do Nashville SEO. All right. So it depends on what the exact domain name is and also how many links you have already. But yeah, you can, to answer your question, you can still use that exact anchor. Absolutely. From Paula. I know SEOhosting.com does. ASEO Hosting does, which I showed both of them. ASEO Hosting is one of my favorite. They do, and SEO Hosting does. And some of these actually, you don't even need to worry about changing that because they do. They do like a generic email. I'm not sure which do and which don't, but I know ASEO Hosting and SEOhosting.com both. You need to change them, and they allow you to change them without contacting support. All right, from Lorraine. Okay, awesome, Lorraine. From Coco, you're welcome. From Elliot. Yeah, you can work on it and move it to a separate IP. That's fine. Just do it before you start linking to it. Yeah, as long as you change it before you start linking to it, that you'll be fine. From Russ. Footprints, Russ. If you keep using the same registrars and hosting, and you keep linking to the same money site, that can create a very big footprint, which can get you in trouble. From Ed. Yeah, I'll write an email to David about that. And I'll have him put up something. We are recording, right? I hope. Yeah. All right, from Kevin. In most cases, Kevin, you can disavow the links, but it depends on if it's worth it or not, with how much time you put into the site and all that stuff. In most cases, I just start over personally. In almost all cases, actually. Unless it was like a big site that I put a lot of time into. Alright, from Lorraine. No, I mean the main get started, Lorraine. You know, what I mean, that's the best way to get experience is start, and the most important thing is good links, which are quality PBNs with the right anchor text and URL combinations. Okay, and it seems like you have a good grasp on that, so just get started. That's the easiest way to start getting experience, and you'll start seeing rankings, and they'll give you confidence, and it'll be good for you. From Elliot. You can use services like semrush.com for that. For example, if you want to see like where CalCast ranks for keywords, it will tell you like what keywords CalCast ranks for. Now, this is the free version, so it's not going to show everything, but it's saying it ranks like number 1 for electronic cigarettes reviews, number 6 for blue cigs, number 8 for blue e-cig, number 2 for electronic cigarette reviews, stuff like that. So it'll show you like what a site ranks for and all that stuff, which is pretty cool. From Lee, hi Lee. From Steve. No file links are basically you're telling Google to you're kind of telling them don't give this link credit in a way, but in a way it still gives them some credit. It's kind of hard to explain. They're supposed to give absolutely no credit, but I believe they do, and many other people believe they do. The other thing that no file links can do is it can kind of protect you in some ways. Like if you're linking out to places where you're not sure if they're trusted or not, if you no follow them, then it supposedly can't hurt you. And I say supposedly because I haven't done a ton of testing with it. I don't mess with no follow that much, but that's kind of a general explanation of them. From Welton. You don't have to, but it can help well. And a lot of my money sites aren't on private name servers, but future ones I have been doing like that. You're welcome. Kirk from Carol. Oh, you're talking about the shortener. I mean, personally, I don't use that stuff. I know some people do use them, Carol, and supposedly there's like some tricks with those URL shorteners where it can give you a boost, but I personally don't have much experience with them. So you might want to ask that in the Facebook group for anyone that has experience with that. From Asher. Yeah, I mean, you could, but you're only going to get out of it what's going to it. So, I mean, if there's no links going to it, you're not going to get any power from it. Alright, so it just depends what links are going to it and to determine what the best use is for it. From Kathy. PBNs or GSA. Study Jimmy's material very closely on GSA and do it his way. Because that way you can come up with lists of sites that you post to a GSA that aren't used by everyone, so that they're not flagged. But my preference is PBNs. From Stephanie. If you want to silo it, yes, that's how you do it, Stephanie. Yes. From Asher. I've never used a Filarama Jetpack, Asher, so I can't tell you for sure about that question. I'm not sure exactly what it does, that exact tool. From Kathy. I do not, Kathy. I've never used them. So no experience with them. Alright. If you got any final questions, put them in now. I gotta end this one pretty much at 2 because I gotta pick up my son. But again, if there's a ton of questions we go over, I have no problem scheduling another webinar. Alright, from Kirk. I mean, I look at everything, Kirk, but domain authority and probably the name of the site just to kind of determine what type of site it is. But domain authority with proper links backing it up. From Ed. If you've done Fiverr, should I wait? You can do a PBN or two and see what it does for you, Ed. But just be patient because those links are going to take a while to kick in. From Russ. I mean, it depends what you're doing, Russ. There's different ways to do it for different stuff. For example, when I'm using like Scrapebox to check indexing of my sites, I just use proxies from buyproxies.org. So it depends what exactly you're doing, what type of reason you're using it for. From Kathy. Just the level of how different the IP is. For example, 1.2.3.4. This is A class. This is B. This is C. This is D. So different C class, it would be like 1.2.6.2. Okay. The C class is different. That's the main thing. Different A class would be like, you could have something like 3.4.24.284, whatever. So this is the A class. This is B, this is C, and this is D. As far as technical, I don't know much more than that. From Elliot. Just do a search for it and see what type of sites are up for it and how deep it goes, how many searches it gets. And with ClickBank, if it has a high gravity, it's probably going to have a lot of people promoting it. So you can kind of tell by the gravity. Now, if you're a beginner and you're doing ClickBank, stick with something with a gravity around like 20 range, something like that. That's not like getting like a ton of affiliates promoting it. From Priest. No, I wouldn't say so, Priest. As long as you don't have footprints. From Lee. In some cases, yes. When a domain gets transferred, you have to wait 60 more days to transfer it. From Sean. Yeah, absolutely. You can still outrank that listing that has 5,000 links. PBN links are a lot stronger than spam links, so it's still possible to outrank them. From Paula. Be careful with it, Paula. Don't use it too much, and make sure there's not a ton of links already. You're talking about blog commenting. So just be very careful with it, because if you do it too much, I think it's going to have a negative effect. Okay. From Asher. No, I have never used Jaxie. From Scott. I'm not sure if WP Blog Management uses footprints, Scott, no. Or Lee's footprints. I have used Managed WordPress, and I've had no problems with the sites I have it on, but I don't use it anymore. Alright, from Low. I'm just saying to be careful, though. Mix in links to some inner pages after that, okay? Even if it's just like the About, like, you can link to the About page. You can add like an About Us page and, say, learn about, Franklin Guide, City Guide or whatever our site's name is, Franklin TN Guide. And you can link to like the About page. I'm not saying like after 10 links you have to. Just I usually do to be safe. Just because you have too many links going to the home page and nothing linking to the inner pages, it could end up being something that looks fishy. It could end up being. It doesn't mean it will. I'm just talking about like being extra safe here. Alright, so it's a little after 2. I gotta get my son soon, so I'm gonna take one last screenshot of the last questions that came in. And then we'll get rolling. It looks like we got through all of them, so that's good. Of course, we'll have another one early next week. Alright. Yeah, there's a Fun Day Sunday every Sunday, though. And contact either Mike or Gregory Ortiz about that. They both run that. From Elliot. What page? I think that's what I just showed you, Elliot, unless I'm not understanding your question. I mean, you can type in whatever URL you're thinking of and see to manually search, or you can use like microsite masters to see where certain keywords are ranking. All right, from Ed. Yeah, we always record these webinars, Ed. Absolutely, and the replay will probably be up by like tomorrow or so. From Asher. PBNs, Asher. Check out the supremacy section. From Coco. Yeah, so like if you no longer trust that site that's linking to you and you have control of it, you can actually go in and no-follow that link. And it will no longer like affect your site. Like for example, sometimes I'll look at sites in here. So let's go to like no, what? I'm trying to think of something that got hit with negative. I know this got hit with negative SEO, so this might work. No. But sometimes you'll look at a site and, like, for example, this might say Nashville SEO. The anchor text would be like 95%, and someone would say, well, how in the heck are they not over-optimized with 95% anchor text? Well, almost all the links are no-follow. You know, I'm trying to think of the example, but I can't think of it. But there was an example where, you know, it had like 1,000 links or so, and 95% of them said the exact keyword we were trying to rank for, and someone was wondering how was that not over optimized. Well, pretty much all of those links were no follow, which means that doesn't work into like the optimization. Like when you no follow a link, like those rules are kind of taken off. Like it's not going to negatively affect you. All right. Supposedly, and from what I've seen, it mostly doesn't. It might negatively affect you a very little bit, but from what I've seen, it pretty much negates all the rules from a do follow. So yeah, if you no follow that link, Coco, it will essentially not be able to negatively affect you. Now, I'm not saying it absolutely can at all, but it will pretty much negate that. Okay. From Carol, probably by tomorrow it will be reposted. From Kathy. No, you can actually use a free tool called expireddomains.net. And other people in the Facebook group use other tools too, but those are the two main tools that I know of. Alright, you're welcome, Carol, Elliot, Peter, everyone else. I'm going to stop this one now, and I'll have another one next week, and I'll get the recording over to David by tonight, so hopefully he can have it up by tomorrow. Alright? Because I got to get ready to leave to pick up my son, so I'll have it producing, and by the time my son's in bed, I'll get it over to David, and he should have it up by tomorrow. Alright, everyone, thanks for coming to this session, and I will see you on the next one.